Good day to you, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self Storage. It is Wednesday morning, and what we're doing today is that I'm getting so many questions about how the new site is doing. So basically, if you are a first-time listener, new listener, we've got three sites. We've got Beverly, which is over 10 years old. We've got Willoughby, which is over 5 years old. That's a big 30,000 square foot building, obviously over 2 floors, so 60,000 square foot and 50 odd containers in the car park as well. 53, I think it is at the minute. And then we've just opened a place in Clough Road in Willoughby, in Hull. So Willoughby site and Clough Road are both in Hull. So we've got two sites in Hull now. We're also opening in Sunderland, and we've got a new building being built in Boston as well. And we're on the lookout for other locations. So we've got three at the minute. Our new one has only been opened 2 months. Just over 2 months, let's say, just over 2 months, 2 months and 10 days or something like that. And so I keep getting questions about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divulge every little bit of information that I have got. And if I've missed anything, please let me know. Any questions? Obviously, as you guys know, I'm an open book. Just been having a conversation with my dad about it tonight. And he said, basically, how's it going? And it's interesting because I always think it's doing bad. I don't know why. I always think it's doing bad because I don't see the reservations coming in. We don't have as many move-ins as Willoughby, and I don't know. For some reason, I always see it as not performing where I want it to be. But then when I look at the data, and I'm thinking, wow, bloody hell, holy shit, this is fucking good. This is really good. And so yeah, I've got nothing to worry about. I don't know why the actual fact versus what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling it's doing, and how it's actually doing. Why is that so different? And the only thing I can think of, it's emotions. I'm emotionally corrupt, which means that sounds bad, but I'm emotionally invested in it. And so therefore, when you've got any emotion behind a decision or a feeling, then you can't truly trust it when there's data backing up exactly how it is actually doing. You should always go by the data. And don't get me wrong, we haven't had many move outs. The churn rate is very, very low, and the churn rate will start increasing. But on the flip side of that, so that means the churn rate starts increasing, so therefore we'll have more move outs, and therefore the occupancy won't keep on growing like it's growing. However, the flip side of that is that the longer you're open, the more people know you there, and they might not need storage now, but it might need it in 2 months. They might have already done a quote. And so there's always a backlog. There's always, you've got a funnel, a sales funnel of people coming in, a pipeline as such. And so the pipeline is increasing all the time, which means that the move-ins will start increasing as well. And so, yes, the churn rate will go up, but then the pipeline is getting fuller and fuller and fuller. And the funnel, people are coming to the end of a funnel, which means they're going to start moving in more. So yeah, there's a yin and the yang. There's a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So fundamentally, Willoughby needs to take £15,000 a month. That's what I need to break even Willoughby. Near as damn it. Not it's a little bit more, but not too much more. 15 grand a month. That's all I need. So for some people, that's a lot. Some people, it's not very much at all. So at Willoughby, oh, Jesus Christ, it's a lot more than that to break even. But at where we are now at Clough Road, it's £15,000 a month. However, I had 9 months. This is why I keep telling people, everybody that I mentor and train and help for self-storage, I think it is so crucial and critical to get a rent-free period. And I know a lot of landlords don't like giving rent-free periods, but that doesn't mean you can't fight for it. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't go for it. And so we've got a 9-month rent-free period, which just gives us some wiggle room. So at the minute, my running costs are £4,000 a month. That's it, £4,000 a month. And I've got another 6 months to get to that £15,000. If I get to that £15,000, then in 6 months, then I know that I'm at a cash flow positive. At the minute, we're cash flow positive in month 2 because we've got no rent to pay because it's a leasehold. We're leasing. We basically can't afford to buy our self-storage facilities yet. And so we're doing leasehold plays until eventually in 5 or 6 years, then we'll be able to buy freeholds. But until then, for me to buy a freehold, it's going to take up too much of my cash. Yes, I will earn more. And yes, it's a better return on investment if you do freehold. But the problem is I might be only be able to do 1 freehold and I might be able to do 4 or 5 leaseholds. And so therefore, the pound for pound, it's better for me personally, just me, it's better for me personally to do leasehold. And that's why we're doing leasehold. So yes, my running costs at the minute, cash flow is £4,000 a month. And in month 2, we are past that now. We're surpassed that. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of capital expenses. I'm not talking about any capital expenses. I'm not talking about the repayment of loan or anything like that. We're just talking about the net cash position for running costs. Nothing to do with paying money back or anything like that, because that's for me is a little bit different, a little bit separate. And it depends, because when I'm talking to you guys about this, when I'm telling you my figures, then my interest rate, my borrowing is going to be different to you, because I've got very, very favorable rates from people who, from private individuals. So if I start telling you about my rates and including them, including the interest, etc., the repayments, and it's going to muddy the water somewhat, because you're not going to see, you won't be able to compare and contrast, because I'll probably, I like to think that I get some very, very good rates. And so therefore, some other people might not be able to. So this is just for getting any repayments of loan, any interest or anything like that. We're not paying back any money. This is just the actual position for the business without any repayments. So at the minute, we're paying back we've got £4,000 total costs at the minute is £4,000 per month. And when we start paying rent, it will be around about 15,000. That's what we'll be paying, 15,000 in 6 months' time. Right. So at the minute we have 2,620 square foot occupied. 2,620 square foot in 9 weeks. I think that's pretty goddamn good. Ultimately, I'm really pleased with it. I know I keep talking. Do you know what? As you can see now, I'm stuttering because I'm thinking, yeah, but is it good? Should we be doing more? I don't know. But I've always got to look at it. If somebody else came to me with this business and said, look, here's my business, here's what I'm doing after so long, is it doing well? Like, holy shit, of course it's doing well. You're a cash flow positive position after 2 months, and you've got another 6 months to get to £15,000 before you actually start losing money, before you start paying rent. You've got another 6 months to get to that point. And then you might be in a deficit. However, you've been in a cash flow positive for the next 6 months. We'll be in a cash flow positive position. So hopefully that cash flow positive can pay for the cash flow negative if and when it happens, when we have the rent to pay. So I'll be like, yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. If you could open a self-storage facility and be in this position after 2 months, then holy shit, why? You just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, because it's a great position. So at the minute, we're 2,620 square foot occupied. That means that we're 27.77% occupied after 9 weeks. I think that's incredible. We've even been in touch with Janus to do the extra shop fit, and we've been in touch with another self-storage fit-out company, just purely because I think that it's always best to get 2 quotes. If you don't get 2 quotes, then I just believe that you should do. Because I don't know, I just feel like that you'll benefit from it. I'm trying to write a note, to be honest. Right, do you know what? 1 second, I need to write a note, because I got to remind myself to do something. So 1 second. Sorry, I absolutely hear when I get something in my mind, I think, oh yeah, shit, I've still got to do that. And then I forget about it when I'm recording the podcast. So I need to write it down. So that's what I've just done there. I've wrote it down really, really quickly. Okay, so back to it. So at the minute, we're 27.77% full. The rate per square foot is £11.43. I know what you're thinking. £11.43? Are you kidding me, Dean? That's absolutely terrible. It is, because both our other sites are over £20. But I keep saying to people that how you act in lease up is completely different. And by the way, that's including the 8 weeks half price as well. How you act in lease up is completely different to how you act in maturity. Your first job when you're first opening up is get the occupancy. It almost doesn't matter what price per square foot you're getting, because you can work on that later. You can always adjust that. You can always stretch that out. You can always do some revenue management. But what you can't do is you can't always get the customers in. So once you've got the customers, then you can really work with the revenue. But until then you can't work with revenue until you get the customers in. So first of all, you've got to get those customers in. So £11.43 per square foot. Most of those people, don't forget, are on half price offer as well at the minute, because we've only been open like 9 weeks and we're doing 8 weeks half price. So that will dramatically increase over the next coming weeks. However, I'm not too bothered. This is probably different to how a lot of people do it, or how the big boys do it. But ultimately, I don't care. It works for me, and I would recommend anybody do this, because it's all about the occupancy. First of all, get the occupancy, and then get your rent, your rent per square foot. It doesn't matter about your rent per square foot in the early stages. It matters about the occupancy, right? The big one: how much are we taking per month at the minute? Monthly recurring revenue is £4,874. So my running costs right now, as of now, without the rent, is £4,000. So every single month we're cash flowing at the minute £874, and we've only been open 2 months. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but guys, Rome wasn't built in a day. Every single month we're just putting bricks, and we're building this foundation. We're building a totally great big foundation. I can't guarantee you, but I'm very, very confident that this place will net over £200,000 a year after 2 years. 250, that's what I've earmarked, is £250,000. This will net after a year, after 2 years, sorry. So it's in a really, really good position. And then obviously, because of the site as well, because of how it looks, because of the location, I believe you're talking at least a 6 times multiple, 6 to 8 times, maybe even 10 times more, depending on what other things are connected to it. So let's just say it's a 6 time. Okay, let's say it's a 5 times multiple. You're talking over £1 million. You're talking £1.25 million of asset in 2 years, and you're being in a positive cash flow position from month 2. And yes, come month 9, when we've got to start paying the rent, then we might not be in the cash flow positive position. We might be losing £2,000 or £3,000 a month. However, we might not be, but it doesn't really matter, because we'll keep improving all the time. And it will only be in a negative cash flow position for a couple of months. And by the way, if anyone doesn't understand what I'm saying, is that I mean that at the minute we're paying half price rent. So when we do start paying full rent, then we might be in a cash flow negative position, because we might not be taking £15,000. We might only be taking £12,000 in 9 months' time per month. And so therefore we're in a cash flow negative position of £3,000. But it will keep increasing every single month. The revenue will go up. The monthly recurring revenue will go up. And so we'll get to that cash flow break-even point. So ultimately, I couldn't be happier. I think that it's a fantastic site. I think it's a great location. The one caveat I've got to say is I'm making it sound amazing, but don't forget that there is some repayment of loan. So to set this up, it has cost a lot of money. I'm not hiding how much it's cost. I genuinely don't know. I think it's around about £380,000 from memory. I don't know the exacts. Obviously, I've got everything written down, but as for this podcast, I don't know how much it's cost right now, but it's around about £380,000. And there's an element of borrowing there, because we haven't done everything ourselves. There's some asset finance, and there's some finance through personal friends as well. Not equity, just personal friends. So it's a really, really good business, but it hasn't come cheap as well. And yeah, ultimately it's trending in the right direction. I'm almost not worried about it anymore. I'm very, very confident that this will just continue to grow and continue, hopefully, to churn out the results. So once this is set up, I can then focus on Sunderland and Boston, and then another. But at the minute, yeah, I'd love to see what are we now? Let's have a look. 2,620 square foot at the end of March. I'd love to be 4,000 square foot by the end of April. So another 1,000 square foot net next month. I think we'll easily do that. Well, 1,380 square foot net. That's where I want to be by the end of April. I want to be at 4,000 square foot. So we'll see how we do. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if there's any questions. I am at Dean Booty on LinkedIn, or you can send me an email, deanbooty@icloud.com. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, girls, love you. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.